Hello, welcome to the studio. Thanks for tuning in. The light language. I'm parked today, so I won't be as distracted. Yo stau kuana teo kuahana. Gyast ak uanat eo ok uanat est. And the sounds that we make, the sounds that we bring through are merely an expression of who we are, who we have been, who we are becoming, what we are expressing as a multi-layered, multi-consciousness being of the highest levels of accord. And as we speak with the harmonics that we are all corded to, so to speak, we hold within us our own court, of what we are called to be, of what we call to be. For as we allow ourselves to pluck the heart cords, the heartstrings, as we allow ourselves to fold into the insights that are bringing us forward, that are being brought forward, that we are bringing forward in this new stage, in this new age of development. For we are highly developed intellectual beings, are we not? Yet many of us have let our intellectuality, our intellectual reality, to be our gatekeeper, to hold the lock and key, to hold us under lock and key, determining what it is that we see ourselves as, that we open ourselves up to explore into. We put within us a limitation, so to speak, of that which it is that we consider to be in the great void. Yet in doing this, in placing ourselves under one constrictive force, which is the intellectual of the mind, I'm seeing this as a reference to mine, also a reference to like, this is mine, this is how this works, I know best. We then create an imbalance that steers us away from true source knowledge. For true source is not the mind. True source is merely an excerpt, an extension, an expression of the mind of source, of the many unique, I'm just seeing all of this color and sound and like musical chords and lights that is then constructed with the presence of the mind, so to speak, to allow us to further feel, expand, express, and create from that awareness. Yet the true heart, the true rhythm, the true heart of the matter, M-A-T-T-R, like building blocks of matter, is truly deeper than that which our human mind can explore. And we would seek to play with this a bit. For many will see the mind as something we are all connected into, that is beyond thought, that is beyond everything. It is the key component to our truth. And while this version is true to a certain extent, we are playing with the words connected to mind through the intellectuality, the intellectual reality of our concepts of the mind. For the mind is not separate from that of the heart in truth. It is always connected and brought through the heart, the existential awareness of the unfoldment of reality. For our human concept of what the mind is and how it creates is being held under lock and key, should we choose to only see that which our human cognizance can understand. We are being invited to explore through a higher trajectory, a higher filmscape, if you will. For we have created a new pattern. I'm hearing like an escape hatch. And when I say escape hatch, I see literally a hatching of an egg being pushed out of this spaceship going out into space. We have hatched a new plan. We have devised a new scheme, a new schematic, a new understanding, a new theme, a new play. And there are so many logical words that we could bring into play to play with this play, right? All plays on words, right? A playwright, we have the right to play. We are right knowing. We invite you to play with your own technology. We invite you to recognize that the mind is merely a tool. It is merely a piece of the whole. It is merely a contributing factor. This is a play on words, mathematical equation, like a factor. Also that it has to do with fact, like fact or fiction. And this contributing factor, this factorization, if you will, this realization of a deeper depth of understanding, we are being invited to pull this through the heart economics, the heartnomics, recognizing that the heart is our key conductor for tuning in with the greater mind beyond the intellectual stability that many of us have felt, creating our own stability. I'm seeing this as in reference to like people feel like, oh, okay, that's fact. This is real. This is who I am. Therefore, this gives me that sense of security, right? But if we're in the heart and we're feeling a lot of things, and I'm being guided to differentiate between the emotions and the heart, I'm speaking more about the vibration, right? Using it as a tuner, right? A tuning fork. As we allow ourselves to tune in, tune the two in combination, tune to a new combination, a new lock and key, a high key, a low key of harmonics blending in a new kingdom, if you will. For we have entered a new capacity, a new unfoldment, a new charge. We are being charged. We are charging ahead. Allow us to charge you through you as you charge anew. As you allow yourselves to recognize what is beneath the layers of compromise, of surprise, of I'm hearing the prize. Like, again, I'm being guided back to this egg and the yolk, right? Surmise. Allow ourselves to unfold and recognize there is a bigger prize at hand that is in our hands. For the whole world is in our hands. For we are part as we are the whole world. We are whole and complete as we allow ourselves to find that which is our deepest composure. So this is a play on words, composure, composing, composium. I'm seeing all this reference to harmonics in music. And as we play with this new energy, as we allow ourselves to sprinkle our own energy in the fullness of all that we are, no longer holding back from our true geometry, our true trigonometry, our truth in our mathematical compositions, equations, equating out to equalizing to, recognizing the equality in the tunes that all are playing, the equality in the two. In the combination, in new you, we all play in these harmonics. What will we choose to compose? as our own living architecture in this now moment. How will we choose to compose, and what will this sound like? What will this pattern feel like? Will we honor that which is unfolding before us, before our very eyes? For what we choose to see will continue to be breathed into our reality. For we are the breath and the life. As we breathe into our reality, we are breathing as the life. We are breathing life into our projects, our creative, I'm hearing attributions. And a lot of this is a play on words. Our ergonomics, so to speak, how we choose to play in our reality system is how our reality system chooses to play with us. And while many will say, I did not choose, for this reality is no longer what I choose to be a part of. This is our truth, for we are no longer choosing to play in an old reality system. Therefore, we start to see that which has been stacked against us, so to speak, is falling away. We have already seen much of what has been played out, losing its harmony, losing its tune, falling apart. The system is stacking up a false set of chords, a pattern that leads us into a belief through our view, through our perspective, through feeling or thinking that what we are viewing is based off of our own choice. So I have to stop and just talk about this, because that was a big juxtaposition, a big play on words, a big back and forth. Bottom line is, we've made choices as a collective. And whether we recognize it or not, those choices, whether we did it through our own knowledge of free will, or whether we gave our power away unknowingly, or whether we made contracts and came into this life and did things that maybe, bottom line is, we all chose, from my perspective, to be here, to do what we came here to do. We all chose to play in this reality. Many people are saying, well, I did not choose this particular friend. I didn't choose my family. I didn't choose this president. I didn't choose poverty for millions of people, so on and so forth. What I'm being shown is, we are at a choice point now. So stop focusing on the things that we think we didn't choose, whether we did or did not. The point is, we have a choice now. And what I'm being shown is, when we take responsibility and we choose in this moment to act from our highest integrity, all of those things that we may have chosen in a previous timeline, in a previous dimensional influx of matter, okay, that then becomes very obvious and it falls apart because it cannot be supported. I've talked about this so many times, and I'm sharing this because it's really coming through right now. It's almost like some of us have reached a plateau, and we're giving a moment to just stop and see where we stand. And when we're just still and we allow ourselves to do a little self-reflection on the choices we've made, on what we think we don't have control over, and kind of let that go, it allows us to stand stronger in the truth of who we are now, and not continue to drag this baggage along with us, drag these belief systems along with us, continue to pull along these cords of energy that are in the process of falling apart if we just let them. And I know many people, myself included, how many people do we know that are really stubborn and they just won't let things go? And because they hang on to it, it creates this continued animosity between whoever it is that they won't let go. It's this continued strain. And I'm going off on this one particular subject. I want to also say that much of what I just said had to do with 5 different subjects. It wasn't limited to just what I'm talking about now. I'm just taking a piece of that and I'm breaking it down, because we do have a choice. And much of what we think, let's say a relationship, or children, or a parent. I didn't choose this parent. This parent treated me very poorly. And because of this parent, I am now in a place of hurt, anguish. I too have experienced that. From my perspective, I chose that. Whether I acknowledge it or not is up to me. That's my choice to recognize that. Everybody has a choice. They can recognize that, they can choose to believe that, or they can choose not to believe that. It's literally that deep, but also that simple. But when I chose to take responsibility, not to say that it was right that I was treated the way that I was when I was a child, but when I thought to myself, wow, what if I really did choose that? And I'm going to share, I've talked about this in a previous video. My childhood was not sunshine and rainbows in any way, shape, or form. I mean, there were moments of beautiful sunshine and rainbows, but there was a huge chunk where it was very, very, very difficult on so many levels. Now I look back on it and I say, if I choose to say, I actually then came into, once I did that, and first I had to choose to forgive my family. Then I had to choose to forgive myself. Then I had to choose. So it's not just forgiving. When you forgive, you make a choice to forgive. So I chose to empower myself and not continue to give my power away to the universe by saying, well, God or a spirit guide or, and again, this is all my own personal choice. If somebody watching this doesn't feel that way and they feel that God chooses everything for them, that's their choice to believe that. And I honor everybody's choice in that matter. For me, I felt strongly that I chose to forgive all of that and to take my power back, not away from God, because I am a piece of God. I'm part of God. God gifted me with this opportunity, if I want to look at it from that perspective, to learn so much and to experience much hardship so that I could integrate it, process it, and help others who are experiencing hardship that I never necessarily would have understood had I have not gone through what I went through. In addition to that, I wouldn't have met the people that I've met. I wouldn't have created relationships with the people that I've created relationships. I probably wouldn't have married my husband had it not have been for the experience that I had as a childhood that was traumatizing. Fill in all of these synchronicities. Right? So we always have a choice. That's one example. And right now we're being invited to choose to take a step back on our platform, look at our past, look at our future, and see it from this 360-degree vision so that we can experience ourselves as whole and complete and call back all of our pieces and recognize that there are bigger versions of us that are communicating with us, overlaying, hugging us, supporting us, and all of these little pieces that we don't necessarily realize are being healed are. Sometimes it's choosing to be in that space of I am healed. Sometimes it's choosing to be in that space of I choose to accept what I cannot change. I cannot necessarily change the economic system based on where I am and who I am and what I'm doing right now. And that's okay. But by me supporting my own field and my own energy, if everybody did that with integrity and compassion and truth, those old systems would fall apart that much faster. And what I'm being shown is they are. Again, it's a matter of patience, recognizing, and just stepping into our own responsibility. How am I behaving now? How am I responding to my environment? Am I connecting with Mother Nature? And again, I want to end on this note. What I was being shown at the beginning of this conversation is the heart. Many of us have been in this logical confirmation. We need to see things logically, and that confirms our knowingness. But that has shifted so much. It's very challenging for people who are only intellectual and mind-based. That mind, all-knowing, is connected to a heart. The heart of the womb of the universe, of the cosmos. that then, so it's all connected. We cannot stay disconnected and think we need to see to believe, or that doesn't make sense logically, intellectually, therefore it can't be real. So again, I'm seeing a lot of magic happening, and it's in the small, it's in the mundane, but it's happening on the bigger scale too. And we'll start to see this unfold, I would say, in the next few months at such a bigger, I've already seen it, but for those that aren't used to seeing it, and it's not about, okay, here it comes, I'm going to wait for it. Embrace it now as if. It isn't about waiting for it to come into our lives. It's creating our own magic by getting out of the intellectual, getting out of that left brain, merging the left and right hemispheres, remembering that hemisphere, right, is part of, we want the whole sphere, the circle of life. We want to connect, to our other aspects. Anyways, I'm going to end on that note. In love and light. Thanks for tuning in. Namaste.